Hey guys, this is Coach Bill with Weight Loss Made Easy. Hope everybody's having a great Tuesday afternoon so far, or Tuesday lunch, whatever it is. Hey guys, I've been trying to do this video probably for over a week now, and just like all of you, sometimes life gets in the way and we got to postpone things. So I haven't been able to do this back when I wanted to, so I'm going to go ahead and do it now since I have a little bit of time. But guys, I wanted to do, there's a lot of chatter out there about the talk about this documentary called the Game Changer, which is taking a plant-based diet and comparing it to what it is a Western, the standard Western diet. And so there's been a lot of chatter about it, and there's been a lot of gurus out there, or health professional, or personal coaches, or nutritionists that are looking into it and not agreeing with some of the information. Those of you that follow M&I, you guys know that we've been doing a primal eating or a ketogenic diet, what most of you know it as, and intermittent prolonged fasting, and we're drinking hydrogen-rich water that has molecular hydrogen H2 in it for a few years now. And I've been posting a lot of information about the massive amount of health benefits when you combine these three protocols. And so, like for example, on the intermittent prolonged fasting today, we're fasting, I think our first meal is going to be around 19 hours. We just got done exercising, and so we exercised, of course, in our fasted state. You guys that follow me know that we always exercise or work out in fasted states because of the health benefits for those of us that are 40 plus, especially those of us that are 60 plus. There's a lot of great benefits. It gives us more energy. It helps our recovery. It actually helps with adding lean muscle because it elevates certain muscle building hormones. It actually helps utilize collagen better for us oldies that are looking to slow premature aging, and the benefits just keep on going. Our strength is, and the big one of course is maintaining our body fat or keeping our belly fat off because of our age. But getting back to the Game Changer, so what I did was I went ahead, I jumped on the bandwagon just like the rest of them out there, and I did watch the Game Changer a couple times to see what they were talking about. And then I went to my favorite nutritionists that I like to follow because they're more for the athletes out there, and I also like to follow a couple of the top personal coaches and strength and conditioning coaches that also watched it and gave their opinion of what they felt. Now guys, put this aside here. First of all, I am not anti-plant-based. A matter of fact, I was a super consistent plant-based for 8 months when I was dealing with a medical issue I had. Emily was my chef here, so she prepared all the plant-based juices I needed to have religiously, and I was very consistent. And that meant very little, if any, meat at any time or eggs, no dairy, completely away from sugar and fruit through that whole period of time. So you can see that I'm not against plant-based, because why was I? Now this is where the Game Changer doesn't tell the whole story, okay? And if you're going through a therapeutic or a medical issue, then a strict plant-based diet, in my opinion, for a period of time is a must to do. You must do it. And so that's what we did, and we did it for around 8 months. Now, and that's why I'm going to voice my opinion on the Game Changer, saying that the information is not, they're not telling the whole story. Some of the research they're using on it, I don't know who's reading it and how they're coming up with the research they're using as examples. And the biggest issue I had with it is it actually threw those of us that are doing primal eating or a ketogenic diet under the bus. And I'm going to explain why I didn't agree, why I feel this way. Like I said, I'm going to reiterate it again. I'm not against a plant-based diet. Emily and I are both basically on a plant-based diet, but we do integrate good, healthy, pasture-raised meat and eggs with our diet. So this is where I'm going to talk about the comparison. So what happens here is, as I'm listening to them talk about this, the first thing that came to my mind, guys, was they were comparing a plant-based diet with people that have been eating a Western type of diet, which is known now by science as being the worst diet you can follow because of all the toxicity and all the processed foods and all the processed sugar and all the processed meat because of GMO and toxic chemicals they're feeding the animals, and the eggs, the chickens are eating cornmeal that have GMO and toxic chemicals in it. And there's all kinds of science that talks about, for example, that in Japan, which was known as the healthiest country in the world, as soon as Western industries got in there with McDonald's and Jack in the Box and so forth, the people became sick. So there's a great example. So what the Game Changer documentary is doing is comparing their plant-based with the Western-style diet, which is a sick diet. And the comparison is not right because, like I said, they're putting people that are doing the healthy, the true primal eating or a ketogenic diet under the bus, because we already know what the Western diet is like. So, of course, you guys, think about this. Of course, when you take somebody who's been eating the Western diet for decades and drinking water that has massive amounts of chemicals in it, and then all of a sudden switch them over to a complete plant-based diet, of course they're going to get better. Of course they're going to feel better. But the issue is, tell the whole story here. And so now, can they maintain that diet for a long period of time? Most of the public can't, so they're going to revert right back to their old ways. But just remember what I'm saying here. They're comparing the plant-based diet with people that have been carbohydrate or carboholics for decades, have been eating refined meat, processed sugar, refined sugar, and massive amounts of starchy carbohydrates, which is causing probably most of them to be borderline type 2 diabetic, obesity, or type 2 diabetic. The plant-based diet, you throw them on there, of course they're going to feel better, of course their blood sugar is going to drop. That's how it's going to work, but it's not going to stay there because most people won't last. Well, what they should have done, in my opinion, if they really wanted to do a documentary, is take that plant-based diet and compare it with somebody that's been on a primal eating or a ketogenic diet for a while, and they're doing it right. I mean, consistently every day doing it right. And then let's see what the research comes out, because I can guarantee you, those of you that follow me, you guys know that when Emily and I ever talk about our 3 protocols, that we always back it up with science, just like these other personal coaches, or these nutritionists, or these personal trainers that work with athletes I like to follow. They do the same thing. That's why I follow them, because they're backing up what they say with science, not documentary or not blog post science. I'm talking abstract with conclusion to them. And so in the documentation on the Game Changer, for example, when they're using science, they used one particular case that was back in 30 years ago. Well, that science changes all the time. That case, you can just throw that case out. And so I got to hook up my phone real quick, guys, because my battery's going dead before it goes dead, and I'm going to lose you guys. So sorry for the interruption. There we go. And I'm going to have her turn the key on so I can get it working. But anyway, what happens here is that particular research, which was done 30 years ago, is just throw it out. That has nothing to do. That's not going to work with the documentary. So there's something I didn't agree with, along with some of the other professionals. They also said the same thing. Now, going back to comparing the plant-based diet with somebody that's doing a primal eating or a ketogenic diet that knows how to do it, has been doing it in a while, in the documentary, they also used another research, and it was, let me see, what was the title of it? I have it written down here somewhere. Let's see here, lifestyle. Oh, I was going to say that that one research was done in 1990. So, like I said, throw that baby out because it's not going to work. So let me see where the other one is. It's called I have it here somewhere. Okay, here it is. This one was done recently, and it was a study done by the International Society of Sports Nutrition. Now, those of you that follow me know I use a lot of their case studies to back up whatever I say. Well, what this study was it was an 8-week study. 8-week study with humans. And what they were saying in the documentary is that the plant-based diet was better for adding lean muscle mass on compared to somebody who is doing a primal eating or a ketogenic diet. And it was in 8 weeks. Well, first of all, the case study, in my opinion, 8 weeks isn't even close to being enough. It needs to be more like 90 days, 120 days, and it needs to be done like a pilot study. So it needs to be a double-blinded study. But anyway, what they were trying to show here is they were talking about is that the plant-based diet build more lean muscle than someone being on a primal diet. Well, the problem is here they didn't tell the whole story, and they didn't show what the conclusion was of the test. And so I'm going to read exactly what the conclusion was at the bottom of this case study. So you can see that there was a misconception here. So the study was, let's see here. Okay. This is their exact words. I just took it right off the case study site. It says, our results suggest that a keto diet might be an alternative dietary approach to decrease fat mass, and visceral fat, which is a bad fat, without decreasing lean body mass muscle. It says it right in the research. So those of you that follow me, and when I'm talking about adding muscle stem cells when you're training, a ketogenic diet helps with adding muscle stem cells. And also, of course, USC and a couple of these other colleges prove that by combining a ketogenic diet with fasting or intermittent fasting longer than 48 hours also produces quite a bit of brand new stem cells or brand new muscle stem cells for after recovery. When you damage the muscle after exercising hard, it's going to replace those. It's going to build the muscle even bigger. So that's the issue I had with that also. Like I said, guys, I'm not anti plant-based because Emily and I are both doing plant-based. I give my clients. I have a recipe book or a cookbook on primal eating or ketogenic diets, and in that book I've included a vegan keto cookbook also. So yes, you can actually do what we're doing if you're vegan. It's a lot harder, and you're not going to get the same benefits or health benefits as a person who's doing primal eating, because that's just the physiology of the body, because there's other things you have to do. But at least you can go into ketosis and you can get some of the good benefits from that. So like I said, don't get me wrong, I'm not plant-based, but I just want you guys to know that whenever they come out, I don't know what the Game Changers motive was, or what they're trying to say, or what they're trying to do, but it just wasn't, I didn't expect it to be, to have these kind of issues. And so basically, I don't really agree with what they're saying, because they're not telling the whole story. And you guys need to really research it first before you jump on the bandwagon, because most of you who try to become plant-based completely will most likely fail, because you don't know how to do it. There is a science behind it all. And there is a way that you need to combine certain foods to get the protein that you do need, and the vitamins you do need. And the body is actually pretty smart. So if you are plant-based, it's going to store up some of the amino acids that aren't quite completed. And it's going to kind of wait for you to eat something that's going to complete them, and then the body's going to utilize them. See, so there is a way to do it, but you got to be really educated on how to do it. For us, I'm controlling the issue I have right now by doing the 3 protocols, or actually 4 protocols: primal eating, the ketogenic diet, intermittent and prolonged fasting. I'm drinking hydrogen-rich water that has molecular hydrogen H2 in it, very powerful antioxidant, and exercising. We exercise up to 6 days a week, so we've been doing that for quite a few years now. So guys, I hope this information might clear up some of your questions you have, because like I said, a lot of people are talking about the Game Changer. Before you completely dive into plant-based, investigate it first. And besides, when somebody asks us, well, the primal eating, what kind of food is that? Guys, a true primal eating person who's living the true lifestyle of that is eating pasture-raised foods, organic vegetables. So we're not eating the processed meats and the high sugar bacon and the uncured bacon, unsugared bacon. All of our meat and eggs are all pastured raised. You can go to the butcher box. It might be cheaper in the long run, but you can go to the butcher box. You can get pasture raised, grass fed, which is the best. All your meat, your eggs, your bacon, your pork, whatever you want. But that's what they should be comparing it to. Somebody that's eating healthy meat. Now these meats are not full of toxic chemicals. That's the difference, guys. That's why we've been so successful in doing what we're doing, and that's why that's what's going to help our collagen utilization, because of the types of foods. And we're not bombarding our body with tons and tons and tons of environmental toxins, and also the toxins you're breathing. So we're not bombarding our body, so we're actually building up our immune system to where it can keep up with all the toxic chemicals that we're consuming on a daily basis. And with the hydrogen-rich water, we're able to detoxify or flush out those toxins on a daily basis. So guys, hope you saw some value in this. You can go to my YouTube channel, type in Bill Mabry, subscribe to it. I'll have the blog post with all of the research that I found on this subject. Will be in this description section of my YouTube when I post it. You can click on that blog post, and there will be more specific information about what I'm talking about and the science. Those of you that want to that are looking at for some personal coaching, either online or one-on-one in a gym, message me. I'll send you my information over. And I'll also, if you want to know about the hydrogen-rich water, which has one of the most powerful antioxidants in it, I can send you that message. So you guys have a great day, and I think Emily and I are going to do some carbo loading after we ate today, something we don't do very often. We might go have a bean burrito. That's kind of funny because we don't do this very often, but we can. And the reason why we can is because we're both so fat adapted that our body will burn up whichever. If our insulin peaks up high, our metabolism will fly off the gauge and burn it up. So you guys have a great day, and like I said, go to my YouTube channel, check me out for other information. Have a good one. See you later. Bye.